Welcome back to Hustle Light Media, the place where smart minds come to grow. So let's talk about something you almost never see online. Everyone's screaming about the hustle, the grind, the Lamborghinis, and the constant noise of making money. But what if I told you that the real sustainable path to wealth is quiet? Today, we're diving deep into the powerful, quiet routines that the wealthy use. Not loud hustle culture tricks, but silent habits that build wealth even when they're asleep. These are the things that happen behind the scenes, the small, consistent actions that have an outsized impact on your net worth over time. And honestly, they're the secret sauce that separates the temporarily rich from the generationally wealthy. This isn't hype, this is a mindset shift. We're not talking about some get-rich-quick scheme or a new crypto coin that's going to the moon. We're talking about practical, repeatable systems that you can implement starting today, without anyone even knowing you're doing them. These are the habits that work for you when you're not working, the ones that leverage time and consistency over brute force and burnout. It's about building a financial fortress brick by silent brick, not by throwing a massive loud party and hoping for the best. This is the stuff they don't teach you in school, but it's what truly matters. So I'm asking you to lean in and listen closely. Forget everything you think you know about what it takes to get rich. The strategies we're about to break down are subtle, they're effective, and they are designed to work in the background of your life, compounding your wealth with almost no daily effort once they're set up. They're the foundation upon which lasting financial freedom is built. Stay with me until the end, and you might never look at your daily routine the same way again. Seriously, let's get into it. All right, let's start with the most powerful yet most underrated wealth-building tool on the planet, making your savings automatic. This is so simple, it's almost boring, which is why nobody talks about it. But here's the reality. Willpower is a finite resource. If you wait until the end of the month to see what's left over to save, I guarantee you most of the time the answer will be little to nothing. The wealthy don't rely on discipline. They build systems that make discipline irrelevant. They treat their savings like a non-negotiable bill, like rent or a mortgage. It's the first thing that gets paid, not the last. The key is to set it and forget it, literally. You go into your payroll or your bank account and you set up an automatic transfer for the day you get paid. A certain percentage or a fixed amount of your income goes directly from your checking account into a high-yield savings account, a brokerage account, or a retirement fund before you even have a chance to see it or spend it. This one move completely removes emotion and decision fatigue from the equation. You are essentially paying your future self first, ensuring that you're always making progress toward your goals, regardless of how you feel or what temptations come your way. This is your foundation. Think about it this way. This habit builds your wealth in total silence. There's no fanfare, no notification, no one patting you on the back. It just happens, consistently, month after month, year after year. While everyone else is trying to time the market or find the next big thing, your wealth is quietly accumulating in the background, powered by the sheer force of consistency and compound interest. It's an invisible machine that you build once, and it works for you forever. This isn't just saving money, it's automating your financial discipline. Now, this might sound a little strange, but what you do in the 30 minutes before you go to sleep can have a massive impact on your financial future. Most people scroll through social media or watch mindless TV, which basically programs their brain for consumption and comparison. The wealthy, however, often use this quiet time for what I call a money-conscious bedtime routine. It's not about stressing over spreadsheets or losing sleep over the stock market. It's about a calm, intentional wind-down that reinforces a wealthy mindset and prepares you for the next day's success. This could be as simple as spending 10 minutes reviewing your budget or your spending for the day, not to judge yourself, but just to be aware. Where did your money go? Was it aligned with your values and goals? This simple act of reflection keeps you connected to your financial reality and prevents small leaks from turning into big floods. Or perhaps you spend that time reading a chapter from a book on personal finance, investing, or business. You're essentially feeding your subconscious mind with principles of wealth creation right before it goes to work processing information overnight. The goal here is to replace passive, mindless consumption with active, intentional learning and reflection. you're ending your day on a note of empowerment and control, not distraction. This habit strengthens your financial mindset, making you more likely to make smart decisions automatically the next day. It's a silent practice that compounds your knowledge and your discipline. Instead of waking up feeling behind, you wake up feeling informed, prepared, and one step closer to your goals, all because you invested a few quiet minutes the night before. Everyone knows about compound interest, where your money makes money. But very few people apply the same principle to their knowledge, and frankly, compounding knowledge can have an even higher return on investment. The wealthy understand that their greatest asset isn't their money, it's their mind. So they make a habit of learning something new every single day, creating a snowball of knowledge that grows bigger and faster over time. This isn't about getting a formal degree or spending thousands on courses. It's about a consistent daily habit of learning. Think about the dead time in your day, your commute, your workout, when you're doing chores. Most people fill this with music or mindless chatter. Instead, what if you filled it with an audiobook on negotiation, a podcast about real estate investing, or an interview with a successful entrepreneur? By turning your car into a mobile university or your gym time into a learning session, you can easily consume dozens, if not hundreds, of books worth of knowledge every single year. You are literally getting smarter while doing things you already have to do. This knowledge compounds in incredible ways. The investing strategy you learn about today might connect with a business idea you hear about next month, creating a new opportunity you would have otherwise missed. Understanding sales psychology helps you negotiate a better salary, which then gives you more money to invest using the principles you learned last week. Each piece of information builds on the last, creating a powerful mental framework for identifying opportunities and making better decisions. This silent habit of continuous learning is what gives you the edge that no one can take away. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You have a bad day at work, and suddenly that $200 gadget or expensive dinner seems like the perfect solution. This is emotional spending, and it is, honestly, one of the biggest silent wealth killers. It's making financial decisions based on how you feel in the moment, whether you're bored, sad, stressed, or even overly excited, instead of relying on logic and your long-term goals. The wealthy aren't immune to these feelings, but they build firewalls around their finances to protect their wealth from impulsive decisions. They don't count on in-the-moment willpower. They depend on predetermined systems. One of the most effective systems is creating rules for yourself before the emotion hits. For example, a simple rule might be the 24-hour rule for any non-essential purchase over, say, $100. If you want it, you add it to a list and wait a full 24 hours. More often than not, that intense urge to buy will fade, and you'll realize you didn't actually need it. Another system is to unsubscribe from all those marketing emails and unfollow influencer accounts that constantly tempt you to spend. You're intentionally curating your digital environment to reduce the triggers that lead to emotional spending in the first place. This isn't about depriving yourself of things you enjoy. It's about making sure your spending is intentional, not reactive. It's about being the one in control of your money, not your fleeting emotions. By setting up these simple, silent rules, you create a buffer between an emotional trigger and your wallet. This habit doesn't make any noise. No one knows you're waiting 24 hours or that you deleted a shopping app. But this silent discipline protects your capital, allowing it to stay invested and working for you, instead of being chipped away by impulsive buys that you'll probably regret later. When people think of side hustles, they often picture something loud and time-consuming, like driving for Uber, delivering food, or managing a very public social media brand. But honestly, some of the most powerful income streams are the ones that no one ever sees you working on. These are the silent or unseen side hustles that generate passive or semi-passive income in the background. Think about digital products, for example. You can spend a month creating a high-quality ebook, a digital planner, or a short online course. Once it's created and set up on a platform, it can sell hundreds or even thousands of times while you sleep, with no extra time investment from you. Another incredible example of this is the rise of faceless YouTube channels or niche blogs. You can create content around a specific passion, like history, finance, or even guided meditations, without ever showing your face. You just use stock footage, animations, or screen recordings and your voice. These assets can generate ad revenue and affiliate income for years to come. The beauty of this is that it separates your time from your income, and it also protects your privacy. You're building a valuable digital asset without needing to become a public figure. The key to these unseen hustles is the upfront work. You invest a significant amount of time and effort to build the asset initially, but once it's built, it becomes a quiet, automated cash flow machine. It's working for you 24/7, reaching a global audience and building your wealth in silence. This isn't about trading more of your hours for more dollars. It's about building systems and assets that pay you over and over again. It's the ultimate leverage, and it's a habit that happens entirely behind the scenes, quietly adding to your net worth every single month. Your environment dictates your mindset and your actions far more than you realize. If you're constantly surrounded by clutter, noise, and distractions, your mind will be cluttered, noisy, and distracted too. This makes it nearly impossible to do the deep thinking required to build real wealth. The wealthy understand this, so they are, honestly, incredibly intentional about curating their physical and digital environments. They design their spaces to encourage focus, minimize decision fatigue, and promote clarity. This is a silent habit that has a profound impact on their productivity and financial well-being. In a physical sense, this means creating a workspace that is clean, organized, and free from distractions. It's a space designed for one purpose: deep work. This might mean a dedicated home office with no TV, or even just a clean desk in the corner of a room. It's all about removing friction. When your environment is set up for success, you don't have to waste mental energy cleaning up or finding things. You can get straight to the tasks that actually move the needle, whether that's analyzing an investment, working on your side hustle, or planning your financial goals. Digitally, this is just as important. It means turning off non-essential notifications on your phone and computer. It means curating your social media feeds to be educational and inspiring, not draining and full of comparison traps. It means having a browser with bookmarks for financial tools, not for endless shopping sites. By consciously designing your environment, you are building a fortress of focus. This silent act of organization and simplification creates the mental space needed for strategic thinking, which is the true source of wealth creation. Your environment should be a tool that serves you, not a distraction that drains you. We just talked about avoiding emotional spending, and honestly, this habit is its big brother. This is for the major financial decisions: buying a car, booking an expensive vacation, investing in a new piece of technology, or even buying a house. The single most powerful tool you have in these situations is time. The habit of sleeping on it is a simple but incredibly effective way to protect your wealth from large, regrettable mistakes. The pressure to decide now is almost always manufactured by salespeople or, our own impatience. The wealthy know that a decision delayed is often a better decision made. When you force yourself to pause, you give the emotional, impulsive part of your brain a chance to cool down. The initial excitement or anxiety wears off, and the rational, logical part of your brain can take over. This pause gives you the space to do the real work. You can research alternatives. Is this car really the best value, or is there a more reliable model for less? You can check your budget. Can you truly afford this without derailing your long-term savings goals? You can talk to a trusted advisor or friend to get an outside perspective. This habit of instituting a mandatory cooling-off period for big purchases is a silent form of financial defense. It costs you nothing, but it can save you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. It prevents buyer's remorse and protects your capital from being allocated poorly. Every large sum of money you don't spend on a bad decision is money that can be invested to grow and compound. It's a quiet, deliberate act of financial prudence that separates the amateurs from the pros. Never let anyone rush you into a major financial decision. Time is your greatest ally. We already covered automating your savings, which is your defensive strategy. Now, let's talk about automating your offense, your specific money goals. Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a house, invest in your kids' college fund, or build $1 million brokerage account, relying on motivation to get there is a recipe for failure. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Systems, on the other hand, are persistent. The wealthy don't just have goals. They have automated systems to achieve those goals. This works exactly like your automatic savings, but it's more targeted. You set up specific recurring transfers from your checking account into different buckets or dedicated accounts for each of your major goals. For example, You might have an automatic transfer of $500 a month into a brokerage account labeled retirement, $200 a month into a high-yield savings account labeled house down payment, and $100 a month into a 529 plan for kids' college. You are essentially creating multiple silent wealth-building engines that are all running simultaneously. By putting your goals on autopilot, you ensure that you are making consistent, unwavering progress day in and day out. It doesn't matter if you had a busy week, if the market is up or down, or if you don't feel like investing. The system does the work for you. This removes the need for constant decision-making and frees up your mental energy to focus on bigger things, like increasing your income. This is how you systematically build wealth over time. You chart the course once, set the sails, and let the automated system guide you to your destination, silently and effectively. This is a concept that is completely alien to our modern culture of flexing on social media. It's the idea of stealth wealth. It's the art of being wealthy, not just looking wealthy. The truth is, a high income does not equal wealth. Wealth is what you accumulate, not what you spend. The habit of living below the radar or living a life that costs significantly less than what you can afford is one of the most powerful secrets to achieving true financial independence. It's about prioritizing your freedom over other people's opinions. This means consciously resisting lifestyle inflation. When you get a raise or a bonus, the default reaction for most people is to upgrade their lifestyle immediately. A bigger apartment, a fancier car, more expensive clothes. The person practicing stealth wealth, however, keeps their lifestyle the same, or only inflates it slightly, and invests the vast majority of that new income. They understand that every dollar they do not spend on a depreciating asset like a luxury car is a dollar that can be put to work to buy them their freedom in the future. This silent habit creates a massive gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your wealth-building engine. It's your power. Living this way means you are less stressed, you are not a slave to your next paycheck, and you have the flexibility to take risks, like starting a business or taking a mini retirement, that others can't. It's a quiet rebellion against consumer culture. While everyone else is playing a loud game of keeping up with the Joneses, you're silently winning the game of financial independence. All right, we've come full circle from preparing for sleep to this final crucial habit, literally getting enough high-quality sleep. This might be the most ignored financial advice out there, but it is fundamentally important. In our hustle-obsessed world, sleep is often seen as a luxury or a sign of weakness. People brag about running on 4 hours of sleep. The truly wealthy and successful know this is a fool's game. They treat sleep not as a passive activity, but as a critical performance-enhancing tool. Your brain's ability to think clearly, solve complex problems, regulate emotions, and avoid costly mistakes is directly tied to the quality of your sleep. Think about it. When you are sleep-deprived, your decision-making abilities plummet. You are more likely to be impulsive, to have poor judgment, and to give in to emotional spending. You're less creative, less productive at work, and less able to spot opportunities. A single night of poor sleep can impair your cognitive function as much as being legally intoxicated. Would you make a major investment decision after 3 beers? Of course not. So why would you do it when you're sleep-deprived? Prioritizing 8 hours of quality sleep is a silent habit that pays massive dividends. It improves your focus, enhances your memory, and gives you the mental clarity needed to execute on all the other habits we've discussed. It's the foundation upon which your physical health, mental health, and yes, your financial health are built. Protecting your sleep is one of the highest ROI activities you can do. It costs nothing, but it makes everything else you do more effective. Don't just work hard, rest hard. That is how you sustain success for the long term. So there you have it, 10 silent habits that are working 24/7 to build wealth for those who practice them. As you can see, the habits that build wealth don't scream. They whisper. They happen in silence, behind the scenes, day after day. It's the automatic transfer that hits your investment account while you're sleeping. It's the quiet no to an impulsive purchase. It's the 20 minutes of reading before bed instead of scrolling. These small, invisible actions, when compounded over time, are what create extraordinary results and unshakable financial security. This isn't about being the loudest person in the room or having the flashiest car on the block. That's a fragile, expensive game to play. True wealth is quiet confidence, it's freedom, it's security, it's having options. You don't need to go viral, you need to be consistent. The real work isn't sexy and it doesn't make for a great Instagram story, but it's what actually builds a life of abundance. The path to wealth is a marathon of quiet discipline, not a sprint of loud consumption. So I challenge you to start today. Don't get overwhelmed and try to do all 10 at once. Pick one. Just one of these habits that resonated with you the most. Maybe it's setting up that first automatic savings transfer. Maybe it's committing to sleeping on any purchase over $100. Stick with it for 30 days and let silence build your wealth. If this video helped you think differently, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Hustle Light Media for more powerful, quiet mindset shifts. Until next time, build in silence, win in public.